everyone. Welcome to another episode of Gamehiker. We're playing a little old game I like to call A Link to the Past.
Hello.
And we're going to play it with the most canonical version of the character, naturally, being Tingle.
Yes, yeah, Ankle and Perlo are just not the correct choices here.
No.
Although I greatly appreciate that you put them there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's to show, alternate versions of, the whole Triforce of Time.
Right, I do like to think that the each file select is a different iteration of the Triforce. And, the bonus there is that your little brother, for example, is always playing a slightly different game than you are.
Right, a worser game, of course, but
Obviously.
Still, a similar game. Yeah, so
as always, Link is taking a nap.
Yeah, this is his natural state.
This actually started that tradition.
Yeah, and Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, Link's already up and at him. He knows what he's doing. He's taking control of action and stuff, but this game, he didn't really know what he was doing yet.
No, I mean, you get sleepy when you've been a video game star for, 6 years?
Yeah.
Let's see, Legend of... No, I'm already on a ridiculous tangent.
It was like 1991, wasn't it?
Yeah, so the original was 87. Link to the Past was 91.
Okay.
So, 4 years. I expect a little more endurance from my heroes.
That's pretty impressive, though, that they have 3 Zelda games in that time frame. Like, they can't even manage one anymore in that time frame.
That's true. That's like 6 years.
Yeah.
So, Uncle been stabbed. Natural reaction is to leave him for dead and take all his stuff.
Yeah. Wake up!
Oh, go ahead.
Like, wake up! Okay.
Pull on his face a little bit.
Yeah. Like, it'd be better if I could wear his face, and then I'd feel more like the hero.
Get a nice heroic mustache.
Exactly. Make him feel Mario-esque.
That guy does look a bit like a blue-haired Mario.
So one thing I like about this is, you know how you get the lantern at like the very first treasure chest in your house? If you actually skip that treasure chest, every treasure chest afterward that contains like 5 rupees in this first quest here, all of them will end up containing a lantern instead.
Okay.
So like that one I just opened, that could have been lantern instead, if I had skipped it.
Yeah. So unless you're grossly negligent, you're getting that lantern.
Well, yeah, because they want you to have it because they'll be going into the sewer, so they're taking every opportunity they have to make sure you can get it. And if you don't get it at that point, yeah, it's basically your fault.
Have you ever gone into the sewers without it?
I have not. It actually would have been interesting to see what would have happened.
Yeah,
I've already ruined it.
Reset. Start the series
over. All right. Alright, welcome back to Gamehiker. We're starting over. What's really interesting is I was reading or watching a recent video. I don't think I was reading, about how there was actually a version of Zelda 3 that was like already almost completed on the NES. But they ended up holding off on it because it was the same year that a Dragon Quest game came out, and they didn't want to sort of stomp on each other's feet with that.
Yeah.
And so they ended up holding off on it. And it sounds like it's going to be more like a traditional RPG, like you're going to have Zelda, or have Link with an actual party that you're going to fight with.
Really?
And be more RPG, because that's what the direction where the series was going with Zelda 2.
True, good point.
Yeah, but
I can see, especially that would conflict with Dragon Quest a lot more than
right.
Like this one.
And then, of course, then Super Nintendo came out, and I guess they pretty much rebuilt the game from the ground up and ended up with this.
And I'd be curious to play the fake Zelda 3.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you've looked in, like, the Hyrule Historia, they actually show, like, alternate artwork of what the game...
Yeah.
Or some of the early planning phases, and it was, like, very sci-fi, and I wonder if that was part of the same, process that they were going through.
That's a good question.
Now I got a real weapon. A boomerang. Yeah, so this is a game I have played so many times, so... Unlike some of the previous games I've been playing, You're not going to be seeing me get hopelessly lost in this one.
Right, there will be no guide checking or rage. Both of us are very well familiar with this game because it's a fantastic game that probably dominated both of our childhoods.
Basically, and after the nightmare that was Chronicles of Teddy and finishing that up, I was like, you know what, I need a breather game.
Right. And, this is actually a game I often go to as a palate cleanser when some new thing, Skyward Sword, disappoints me so badly that I don't even want to play video games anymore.
Oh, thank you, Tingle. I had a feeling you were getting close. It made me shiver. In concern.
His presence does that.
Here I am. I'm like, I was just here for the rupees. See, there was another chance for me to get the lantern. That was like my last opportunity. I wonder if maybe people would objected if I left. It's like, you're gonna really need that. Yeah, I'm super curious about what would happen if I went there without the lantern. But
now we'll never know.
It's one of those unsolved mysteries.
Something to point out while you're in Hyrule Castle.
Right.
The Hyrule Castle theme is my all-time favorite Zelda song.
This game has so many different theme songs that I just absolutely love. Like, there are plenty of other great ones in the Zelda series, but this one just has such a high concentration of great music.
Oh, yeah, completely.
And some of them they haven't even reused yet.
I think so. Kakariko Village, of course, got used. Fountain.
One I'll point out that I don't think you see as many times often. I don't think I've seen a good remix of it in another Zelda game, but the Lost Woods theme.
Oh, yeah.
It's very atmospheric, but I don't think they've ever reused it before.
No, I can't think of a remake.
Because I was looking for different,
this.
music themes to add to my Zelda playlist, and that was one that I actually had to go back to the A Link to the Past original to find one for.
That's surprising. You would think that at least Hyrule Warriors would have made a over-the-top metal version of it.
Yeah, even Hyrule Warriors felt it, so it's just one of those themes lost to time.
Yeah. That's too bad, really. I agree. That was a really good.
This is one of the best parts of this game, is that they just have these things here and
the slash curtains.
I don't want to do anything, but you can open them up.
Important training exercise.
And I didn't say anything about it. Even just when we were outside at the beginning of this episode, the whole thing with the rain and everything like that. When I first booted this up when I was 10 years old, it blew my mind.
Oh yeah, the spinny Triforces.
I just could not comprehend that a game that could look like this could actually exist, and that I owned it.
Yeah. My experience with this one was actually at a friend's house. I played a couple different dungeons at a friend's house, and I just... when you remember things from your childhood, and since your memory of your childhood is so fragmented, you just remember things as being bigger and more complex than they really are.
Right.
I got that experience as my first experience with this game. So then years later, when I finally got an SNES, I got to play it for real in its entirety, and it was like remembering a dream.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. For me, I had never had Nintendo Power or anything like that, and so I didn't really know a whole lot about the SNES to begin with, because I didn't really just have that kind of resource to really look up that kind of stuff. So when I got my SNES, it came with Zelda, because my parents knew I loved it. So the moment I booted up that game, I had no expectations whatsoever what it was going to be like. So.
Oh, okay. And then you're like, this is garbage. Zelda 2 was the best time.
Yeah, I realized that right away, that Zelda 2 was the best Zelda there was ever going to be, and that if I was going to play any more Zeldas after that, it was, mostly to prove myself right.
Right. At least they completely changed the direction of the series, so you didn't have to directly compare it to Zelda 2.
Right.
Also, I did find a pretty sweet metal version of the Lost Woods theme
on
YouTube by one Christian Richardson.
That might be one that I actually have in my playlist right now, because I did find a few good versions of it that different people had remixed. But listening to it's a really nice song though.
It is.
It's one of those ones where I just can't believe they never use it again. Like, it'd have been great in Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, you think they could have found use for that? Especially, you could turn that into a piano method pretty easy. Slow it down, add some more piano plinks, and you've got some atmospheric, kind of creepy music.
Yeah, and I mean,
Well,
at the risk of giving spoilers, I mean, the game has, the Lost Woods in it.
It does.
I guess feel like,
So, before you leave this room, I'm too
yes.
late. Those bombable walls tormented me for so long.
Oh yeah, I know, because like, you get to the point where you can't actually go back to this place. Actually, I can't do it now, but
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like those walls are there, and you're like at the beginning, like, what can I do with those? How am I ever gonna get back here? I'm blocked out now.
Right. I think I got in once, and I never remembered how.
Right. But yeah, I mean, eventually, you're able to come back once you're able to get some, move some blocks around and go into the graveyard. But
that's right. Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything special over there except for maybe like a piece of a heart.
Right. I don't think it's even that much.
So I like this part where she's like, pull the switch over there, and like, because it's this type of game, like, you have no idea which one she's talking about, so I know which one it is. I always like to pull this one anyway, though.
It is delightful to do that one. And then snakes fall from the sky.
Oh no!
Yeah. And that's one of the things I love about this game, above pretty much all other Zeldas, is that there's all these really enticing and yet often pointless secrets. A lot more red herrings than you usually get, because programming a random room with 2 rupees in it is cheap in 1991. But
yeah, but
making all those assets for a 3D game, developers are like, okay, let's make everyone count.
Is this your doing, Tingle? What have you done this time?
Wow, you abducted the princess.
Yes, it was Tingle who put me in prison. I mean, I'm sorry, escape from prison. This is when Zelda gets pretty wordy. This whole game, like when you say the maidens, like they just go on forever.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times, just sort of repeating the same thing like the previous maiden said. So like you sort of skip through it.
Yeah, you get like one sentence that's new details, and the rest is the same.
No, not at all.
Yeah, let's get that going.
I'm just here for the treasure chest.
And now that we've got the important thing, I think it's time to go to bed.
All right, good night, everyone.